Good morning, everyone. Zamit, I think Ms. Eranda is here.
Yeah, so we will start at 9:05.
9:05, okay.
Yeah.
The number one benefit of information technology is that it empowers people to do what they want to do. It lets people be creative. It lets people be productive. It lets people learn things they didn't think they could learn before. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the fourth session of the Infostudio session series organized by the Industrial Management Science Students Association of the University of Kelaniya. Today's session will be about a topic most of you are interested and curious in, the Google Summer of Code. And for those who don't know what Google Summer of Code is, it is a global online program that brings new contributors into open source software organizations. The ultimate goal is that these contributors will become excited about the communities they are involved with during the program and will continue to actively contribute to the communities long after the program ends, or maybe start their own open source projects. So, to provide you with more details on the topic, we have Mr. Eranda Sooriyabandara here with us today. Mr. Sooriyabandara is a proud graduate of the University of Moratuwa and currently works as a software engineer at Meta. He was also a director of architecture lecturer at Fidelity Investments and an associate technical lead and senior software engineer at WSO2. He was selected for the Google Summer of Code in 2009 as a member of the Apache Derby development team, and again in 2011 as the member of the Apache Tuscany developer team. Mr. Eranda Sooriyabandara, we warmly welcome you to the session. It is an honor to have you here with us today. And without further ado, let me invite you to continue the session.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I hope it's early in the morning, so very good morning to you all. I hope everybody's had a good sleep and everybody's brain is kind of back to normal after tiring work yesterday. So yeah, let me start sharing my screen. I hope I have the permission. Thanks. Can anyone of you confirm you can see my screen?
Can see it on the can.
Okay. All right, then I'll get started. It is nice to see all of you interested in participating Google Summer of Code. It is definitely something, something you all benefit, from the perspective of a computer science engineering students or the management information technology student. You definitely will learn more and something you will end life the exposure of this one will definitely benefit you. I hope all of you get selected to the Google Summer of Code. So let me, from my perspective, I'll definitely want this to be a little bit of interactive. Not a little bit. As interactive as possible. Now from my perspective, you are the one who's going to do the work. Ultimately, I can give you some introduction, but you are the one who's do the real work. So definitely all are more than welcome to interrupt me at any point and ask questions. And if you don't understand anything, yeah, definitely that would be, please stop and ask me the question. I'll kind of keep it as simple as possible. If I'm kind of a little bit of fast speaker, so if you think my my pronunciation is too fast for you to understand or anything, just let me know. I'll try to keep it slow and keep it going. All right. So let me give you a little bit of background. I think this one here. Yeah, I'm currently a software engineer at Meta, the Facebook company, and I graduated. That's 2011, right, Sean? So yeah, both graduated at the same time. I participated twice in the Google Summer of Code, 2009 and 2011. So yeah, it was a great experience for me, at least in this career. Where I'm at is definitely it helped me a lot. So that's why I want you to get most out of this one, so that you can really take the benefit out of it, so that you can take the next step towards your career. That's what I wanted a little bit of highlight there. All right. So give me a second. I need to adjust my screens. I'll probably let me give me a second. I need to switch my screens. I stop sharing. Let me start sharing again. Oops. Let's check this one. Can you confirm again? Like, I mean, you can see my screen with the slides on it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, what is Google Summer of Code? Definitely. I mean, it is a program that it's a global program where like you will do some coding practices, or like you will participate in solving a real world problem of a real world product. That means it's more of a like a mentoring program for you to, or the students who's currently studying, to get help for you to encourage in participating open source projects. Now, I hope like you guys are knowing open source projects and everything. But I mean, if you don't know, don't worry. I'll talk about it next slide. So this program runs around like 12 weeks. In that 12 weeks period, what you'll do is you will contribute to an open source project, which is already being used by many of the companies, or many of the people to solve a real world problem. So that's the beauty. Like, I mean, you will ultimately ended up contributing something towards these projects, which will be used by the real people, and it will be used. Right. For those who does not know about open source software, open source software is there are two types of softwares. I mean, there are a bunch of categories you can categorize.
Recording in progress.
Right. There are two types of software categories in today in the industry. One is what we call open source, and the other one is called proprietary. So open source software is something you can access the internals of it, or the source code of it, and you can give some you can contribute towards it by suggesting some features which you will be benefiting. Which will be benefiting you if that feature is there in that software, and you can definitely go and modify it so that you can contribute to that software so that it makes a better product out of it. So the proprietary, on the other hand, is something internal to a specific organization or a company or a person. So in that particular, in proprietary software, you won't be able to, you can use it, but you won't be able to see the internals of it, how it works, or what kind of algorithm or what kind of mechanisms within that software. So I'll give a little bit of internal why open source software make a better world. So why it makes why I think it's making a better world is because now these are free software. These open source software are free to use. So what you can do is anyone can use it without paying it. That means it will benefit the world who's in need but don't have the financial backing. So they can always use it. On the other hand, because anyone can contribute it, you can always give some ideas and you can implement those ideas so that people will benefit out of it. Now think about now, given that it's it's a global world. When you connect all these countries through the internet, is everybody can contribute it, and the perspective what the software is getting is global. Now, think about a software is being developed in Sri Lanka. Now what if we don't consider the perspective or the users' inputs from the outside? So it will be more of a software which is matching the users who's living in Sri Lanka, but it won't match. I mean, it may not match the use cases around the world. So I mean, so that it'll be more of a Sri Lankan specific software. You won't be able to use it outside Sri Lanka. So now, given that open source software is something exposed to world, it get all these different perspective of all this world, all these countries, and it'll help to make it a better product for and getting all these perspective, make it a better product for everyone, and it'll help world grow. I mean, grow much faster because you're sharing knowledge, and that's how even human evolves, right? We carry our information through our DNA, and we keep evolving. Otherwise, what will happen is, we'll be someone forever without we taking the knowledge to the future. All right. Enough talking about open source. Okay, now let's talk about why I participate. I mean, by the time I was in the graduate school, university, why I was participated. Of course, there was some kind of like discussion or motivations around the program by the time within our campus, and everybody was talking about it, and a few people selected, but I mean, the others were not selected because they didn't know about it, because they didn't apply it, or they didn't put the correct effort onto it. So why I was selecting was like, okay, I heard these guys, at least like my seniors were talking about this project, and I thought like, yeah, why? I mean, yeah, I'll give it a try as well. So yeah, that's the first motivation. I heard it. I think it's cool. And then again, the real benefit when I break it down is I can learn the programming. First time I did my Google Summer of Code when I was in level 2. That means second year. Second year is someone. From our perspective, second year, even I didn't have much of a exposure to software development. I mean, even like I didn't have like a good background with the programming languages as well. So I wanted to learn programming. So as a software engineer or software development, throughout the software development career, I think you must know the how to program. So that's one thing I can learn. So that's definitely beneficial. I thought like about the benefit of like learning a language, and the mentorship opportunity. Now you will be working with someone who's already an expert in this industry. So if you can work with an industry expert, then what you can do is you can definitely get some kind of flavor of what it look like when you work it in the industry. So when it's like you will get the mentorship, how you should evolve yourself, as well as you will get, on the other hand, you will get the industry level experience because you're working on a product which is already being used by many of the users, and many of the users. So it's good to have this kind of experience, definitely, because as a student, there is, you definitely get all these theoretical components, as well as like small projects or a little bit of internships. So these kind of, this will help. But if you take about the GSOC, you will be just diving into a product and try to understand it and try to evolve that product. So that kind of experience is definitely will help your career. So that's beneficial as well. And also, like this is the fun part. When you contribute towards an open source project, what will happen is ultimately it is the meritocracy, or the merit is yours, not someone else. Ultimately, you will be responsible for that code, and you can proudly say, okay, I contribute this part to this specific software. And yeah, you can proudly say that as well. Even in interview, you can specify that, yes, this experience, I got this experience through Google Summer of Code. Last not the least, you'll get some money. So there's something I find it helpful as well. To cover all these expenses I had. So you'll get money for this for participating in this program. If you now, fun part was like by the time I was participating, it was like $5,000. They'll be contributing, but nowadays they break it down to country basis. And if you pick a medium project, you'll get paid. You'll get stipends around like $1,500. Or if you do a large project, you can get $3,000. That will definitely help your expenses, and it will help you definitely throughout your rest of the time you spend in the university. So keep that in mind as well. Like if you, it is, that will make you financial healthy. So I'll go through the timeline a little bit. I don't want to talk much through this timeline. So first, January 23rd, Google is going to say, okay, we are going to accept. We are going to ask all these organizations who's participating in Google Summer of Code to come and participate. Submit their application to register as an organization. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the organization a little bit later. So once they had a deadline, February 7th, they should conclude it. And then February 7th to 21st, what they'll do is they will review these organizations. So organizations are the one who's like submitting project ideas, and they are the one who has projects under them, and in all these projects they can present an idea which you can work on. So then February 22nd, by the time they will say, okay, these are the accepted mentoring organization. So that's now that is the work done from the mentoring organization. So now mentoring organization is selected. Now it is up to turning towards the participants. So students engagement time period starts and February 22nd to March 19th, what you'll do is you'll ended up talking to these organization and get some clarification on the projects they have. These organization will give you some project ideas which they want you to work, and you can always get more clarification towards these projects, and which will help you writing the application, or you have to write a you have to write a project proposal. So that discussion will help you get into the project proposal. I will talk about all these different how you write the project proposal and what you should do before and after in a little later slides. By the time, April 4th is your deadline. As a participant, you have a deadline where you will you should submit your application, and then May 4th, they will let you know whether you are selected or not. So, and now the fun part begins. Think about if you are selected, then what you will do is you will do more interaction with this organization and products and the people who's contributing, actively contributing to these projects, and you will be doing some interaction, as well as you can always have some kind of like a meetups within the participants. And that, now think about this and as an opportunity. On the one side, you can improve yourself, as well as on the other side, this is something you can use to meet different people from all over the country. So that will help you in the future as well. So it's a community time. May 4th to May 20th, you will build the community, project community, as well as the participant community. And May 29th, official coding begins, but you can start earlier than that as well. So July 10th, you have now in this project, you have three deadlines. One is application deadline. The second one is the midterm evaluation deadline, and the third one is final evaluation deadline. So keep that in mind. So this one is the July 10th is the midterm evaluation deadline. So you should present your work, and mentor will evaluate your work and say whether you are satisfied or not. If you think you have done a good job, they will they will give half of your stipends. That means you will get half of the money. And then after that, again, like you will start again, like you will go through the cycle where you interact with this project, and then you will start implementing, and then ultimately you will have a final outcome out of it by the time of the program ends, which is on August 21st. And then and afterwards, there will be some informal things like from mentor's side, he will evaluate you against like whatever the work you'd have done. And they will say, okay, we are finishing the program around September time period. And then you will get the money, as well as you will get the certificate and some souvenirs. So that's kind of the timeline which you'll spend. Highlight part is there are two program periods, and more community bonding period around those two coding. And definitely mentor is there to help you, but it is your responsibility to take advantage of your mentor and get the most out of it. So now since I talk about end to end, like how the program runs, I'll start with now Now, I said the application or the interaction process begins around February, right? But for you, I mean, as a tip, you shouldn't wait for that long to start building your rapport with this organization. So what you can do is, first, I mean, if you have anyone who you know participate, anyone has a question? Oh, is it noise? All right, I think it's some noise. It's all right. So now, so first thing is, think about people who already participate in this program. So there can be like there can be friends or there can be family who is participating in the project. Talk to them first. Talk to them and ask like, how did you do? How did you get selected? And how did you apply? What are the projects you have been evaluating? And try to get some information from them. And then I mean, let them talk and then try to digest it. And then afterwards, try to pick a couple of projects from a couple of organizations who participated in last Google Summer of Code season 2022, and they then try to see what projects they have, and then what project they have, and try to see if it kind of matches you. I'll talk about how to specifically on how to pick a project in the later slides. And then once you pick a project or try to use the product. Now, one thing we as a software engineer or software developer, we will do. I mean, we start normally something we shouldn't be doing is start developing, start looking at the code. First, you have to know what the specific product does, which is what it does, and what is the capability of it. So try to use the product come as a product of this project. So try to use it and get familiar with the functionality of it. And then next thing is, once you have a little bit of once you have some sort of familiarity with this project, reach out to the organization. That means you have to talk to them. I'll I'll talk about it as well, how you can reach out to them and talk to them. And then afterwards, now you have pick a project, try the project, and you have reach out to the organization, say, introduce yourself, and then familiar with the project. That means you may go beyond using it. You start reading the code, and then if you have any questions, you can always get some help from the project members or the mentor as well. So now I'll talk about how you can select a project. Now this is the most important part of the program, this Google Summer Code program, because ultimately, if you don't select a good project, you ultimately you might not get that feeling like you. If you don't understand all these different things, then your body won't help you much on getting it to a closure. That means the odds are odds will be lower if you select the wrong project. So it is always good to have a project. Project selection is really, really important. So that's why I put this slide. So when you select a project, when you select a project, think when I go to the industry, what I would like to do. So now there are different types of project areas. For example, the cloud natives. There are cloud native projects where like you will be helping evolve the cloud functionality, and the data science, all these bad terms, good terms you are hearing, like artificial intelligence, neural networks, and likewise, those are related to the data science. And on the other hand, databases and middleware, likewise. So there are different areas, project areas, which you can pick and choose based on your preference, where you want to go and work. If you are given a chance, where would you go, and what area you will select? You will select. So then again, like there are different. For those categories, those project areas, there will be different projects which use different languages. That means the implementation wise, they will use different languages. So, if you are an expert of a language, probably you should follow that language without. I'm saying is like, don't try to learn a language to contribute this project. If you have some kind of language you already picked, definitely use that language, because ultimately in this Google Summer of Code, what you will be ended up doing is contributes toward the project, and the language knowledge will help you. But if you are learning, then you will take a little bit more time to, you have to spend a little bit more time learning the language as well. So if you have time, of course you can always select it. So that comes to the next thing, like the complexity. So based on your time, I know like everybody has all these academic works. You have to do the academic works alongside with the Google Summer of Code. So think about how much time you can allocate as well. So when you pick, so if you don't have much time, and if you know like you will have a little, you don't have much time, pick a medium-sized project. And if you think you can spend a lot of time, or if you think you can end up like pushing you towards the limits in terms of participation, or in terms of your free time, or your time you spent on the sports and everything. If you think you can have more time, definitely you will go and pick a large project. So, and if on the other hand, if you are new to the industry, if you don't know anything, when I was in the level 2 or the second year, when I was participating, I picked A1, which is least complex, because I wanted to participate, but I know like large project might not help me. Large project I might not be able to complete by the time program ends. So definitely think about your time, and definitely think about how much of an effort you can put it in, and try to select the complexity according to it. And I'll come to the second point. Now, I said there are project areas, and then try to see all these different organizations published by Google last year, what they have been, what kind of projects they have been focusing on. For example, Apache Software Foundation, it has like a wide variety. It has a big portfolio under that umbrella. They have libraries, they have all these cloud projects, database projects, middleware stuff, and everything. So try to understand what their offering is. For example, if you see CNCF, Cloud Native Computing Foundation, what they're doing is they are focusing on developing software for the foundation. Software runs on the cloud. That means that will help run. That will help in the help. You will help native cloud, how it perform, and how you can support the software developed and run on cloud. And OpenCV, Computer Vision, and JBoss always focus on the middleware. Try to go through this organization. What area are they focused on? That will help you shortlist the organization. So if you have definitely if you have a focus area, think what organization matches me. And then once you have a couple of organizations, don't pick a lot of organization, but ultimately you'll ended up reading about the organization and not ended up selecting one. And once you find the organization, you go and read the project ideas they published last year, 2022. And then you will get an idea. Okay, these are the things they have published, and these are the project ideas. Read a little bit on that. Don't go to the depth of them. Try to read them and get an idea what kind of projects. For example, this is not a real example, but this is something I make up right now. Log4j is Apache. Log4j is a software, library software which provided by Apache Software Foundation, which is used by most of the Java-based software applications. And one of the project is, there was a huge security vulnerability found in the Apache Log4j. So one of the project would be solve that problem or solve the security issue. So that kind of thing. So now you know how you can shortlist an organization and then find a project for you and try to see if it matches you. Matches your criteria, like the language and the complexity. And try to see, if it is a very old project, I may say don't ever take it. The benefit, it will be more complex because the code has legacy in it, and it'll complex your understanding and the reading of it. So pick a comparably new project and which is written with your preferred language, and then on the other hand, check if there are anyone else who's who's interested in that project. I'll come to that in the next slide. How you can identify if there's any other students from different part of the world or from Sri Lanka, some other university is trying to participate. You don't want many people to. There can be a hot project where everybody is trying to get to work on, but now given the odd, only one can be selected. So don't try to don't try to pick one which is like a hot topic participated by many of them. So only one can select it. I'm not saying you are good or bad, but they definitely have odds in it. So don't take that chance. One other thing was you have to see if the project, even though they have published an idea, check if the project is, in active state. I will tell how you can check if the project is active or not. By looking at the communication, how frequently they are communicating, and how much of a people are communicating in there, and what is the frequency they are releasing their product. If they are releasing product very frequently, and if they have like a lot of threads going around, people talking about what are the features, what are the new features we have to add, and discussions around that, and what are the bugs, how they can address. If there are like a lot of active communication around that one, definitely that's something active, and there will be a lot of people who can help there. So definitely, if it is, you have to see if there are a lot of active members, if the project is active. If it is active, definitely you will get a lot of help. So that you should consider active project. Okay, now to the second point, how you can reach out to the how you can reach out to this project, right? So different projects, even a given, for a given organization, there can be multiple projects around on it, and for these specific projects, there can be a specific channel of communication. For example, Apache Software Foundation, all the projects are using mailing list, what you call mailing list, and it is a mail threads where you discuss a certain topic in it, and the thread will be specific to that topic, and everybody is contributing towards that. So mailing list, or some I know some projects use Slack. So first, get familiar with the communication mechanism they're using. And there can be, for a given project, there can be different channels for that. For example, there can be developer channel. The developer channel is where developers are discussing the product internals, and user channels where they are helping the users. Users can ask for help, and then developers will help them. So pick the developer one where they discuss the internals of the product, and then first thing, subscribe to it as immediately as possible. Then see how much of a mail you're getting. If you're getting a lot of mail, that means or if you're getting more communication in the Slack, that means it's an active project. And once you subscribe to it, you will get all these mails. And then what you do is, now, given that you will be participating in this organization, introduce yourself. Don't be shy. Now, I know, I don't know why as Sri Lankans, we are a little bit shy introducing yourself, and again, starting a communication. So, but don't be shy. Yes, nobody's going to get hurt. Start the communication, introduce yourself, tell your name, and tell a little bit of about you, why you like the project, and a little bit of your background, and say that you are someone who's willing to take a work on a GSOC project, Google Summer of Code project. And if they are good organization, they will definitely will help out. And if they are not cooperating, or if they are not if they just ignore, forget about the project, because ultimately, people are, they kind of you don't want to be work on a project who has people like those. So forget about the project, move on. And now there's kind of a little bit of how you reach out to the team. I mean, definitely reach out. To be honest, start now. Whatever I said, do it right now. Not do it just after this one. Yeah, you can't do it right now. Don't do multitasking. Yeah, do it afterwards and try to use your free time on these things. And now, even that you find a good organization, good project to work on, which is matching your criteria, you have to you have to write the project proposal. So you have to now, idea of project proposal is to describe your plan for executing your plan of execution of your project within the project. How you can what is the scope of it, or what is the plan, what is the what are the deliverables, or what are the deliverables, and when are you going to deliver them. So talk about them. Your project knowledge and the previous background will help you pave this document and submit this. Start this as early as possible when you have the opening of the project proposal in the timeline. Because now what happens is, when you try to do your best and put something good, don't do half-baked anything. You work on it and then put it as a proposal, and then definitely get feedback from your mentor. So that he's there to help. Definitely, you have to take the advantage of try to see your project proposal is matching the project's expectation. So mentor will always help you. Mentor will definitely there to help. All these mentors, they're super cool, and don't hesitate to talk to them. Always talk to them, get feedback, and do iterative improvement. Put it on, and then get feedback. And if they have something, try to change it, and then discuss the internals of it, and try to get try to put a lot of effort into this project proposal, because this is something. This is the one this is the one which will be used in evaluating your project idea and project proposal and your deliverables, so that they will say, okay, you got selected for this project. So put good effort into this one. And when you write it, be precise. That means don't put don't put too many words. Don't use a lot of wording to describe certain things. Just if there's a precise word, use it, and then get over it. It is really important to have the quality of the document. Nobody cares about how many words you have written. If you can describe your project with a single sentence, go for it. Don't waste any more time of anyone. So it's a waste of time of use, as well as those who reading it. So yeah, be precise about your proposal. And on the other hand, too less of a wording, or too if you put if your describe is not enough, that is also a kind of put you in a trouble. So just put enough wording into that one, so that whoever reads understand, and then they will help you. Which will make you selected. So, and yes, go ahead. I see a hands up. It's not there, no longer there. If you have any questions, you can just speak or hands up, whatever works. All right.
Eranda, two questions.
Yes.
First one is, can they start contacting mentors now itself? That's the first question. The second question is, can they? Do they have access? Is there any platform which gives them the access, the students the access for sample proposals?
Okay. For the first question, now up until the organization is selected, there's no guarantee that specific project is going to get selected, and they have a chance to participate in the program. And definitely, one thing is, like, if it is something participated last time, and they have some people worked on it, and if they complete it, definitely they are going to submit another project proposal this time. So yes and no. Try to contact the organization and try to introduce yourself, and try to talk to them, like, in general, like, are you going to participate in GSOC this year? And they will say yes, and they definitely, like, will let you know, like, if they have a specific project proposal, okay, beforehand. They will say, okay, we have kind of idea. They will say, like, yeah, we are going to participate, and these are the ideas we are going to put. They will help you definitely if they have any idea ironed out by the time. So there's a chance for them not to get selected. For that, definitely you check if the organization last year they have completed the project. The students complete the project and they didn't abandon or failed, and they'll definitely get a chance. So do your due diligence on that, and that'll help you identify that one. I'm sorry, what is the second question, Sean?
Yeah, it's about the sample proposals.
Yes.
Do they have access to any sample proposals?
Yes. So sample proposal, in the sense, you can get tons, like whatever the submitted proposals, you should be able to get access. It's online right now. I have some links at the end of the slide deck. You can just go and explore. So you can access all these different projects, organizations, projects, and their work and what they have done. And you can definitely dig deep into them. So yes, it's online.
Yes. So everything is online, and everyone can go and basically any person has access to the resources in GSOC website.
Yes, all this documentation, they're online, and you can access it through the Google Summer of Code site. And on the other hand, each individual organization publish their project proposals. So in their sites, for example, if you Google right now, Google Summer of Code projects, Apache Software Foundation, they will give you a list of Apache Software Foundation projects which they have proposed last year.
And another question which came up is, like, now let's say a person is not at least moderately proficient in a particular language, but he knows a little bit. Is this thing for such a person as well? A beginner? Can a beginner try out GSOC simply?
Oh yeah, as I told you, like, by the time I was participating in my first time, I didn't know anything. I know a little bit of C#, but I was coding with the project was project was implemented with Java, so I didn't know anything. So yeah, you can. I mean, definitely. So that's like, I mean, you might need to put some extra effort in now. Now, why I said like you have to put some extra effort is like you have to learn the language in order to understand the code when you contribute. And I mean, on the other hand, don't discourage. I mean, if you don't know the language, mentor and all the other project members will help you refine your coding. So that will give you that they will give you more directions how you can improve yourself. So take that as a chance. Like, I mean, don't be discouraged of anything. I mean, even though if you don't know anything about the programming, don't worry about it. I mean, yeah, you can still get selected like me.
Thanks.
All right, then I'll move on to the next one. So now, how you can get the most out of GSOC? Now, like I said, program, you can know the programming, and you can you can get the you can get the exposure of industry, and but how you can get the most out of this program, how it will help you in your career. So that's what I wanted to highlight now. Now get this slide as a motivation for you to participate. So I mean, yeah, you can get to know the project. Now these projects who's participating in GSOC are projects which already which is used by different tons of people. So you can contribute towards that. I mean, you can get to know about the product, and then definitely you can get to know the people. There are like, now this is a good chance for you to interact with developers, experts in this area from different countries. So then you can definitely share your knowledge, as well as like ask questions. I mean, now in the channels, in the project channels, you probably ask the project specific one, but try to get more interactive and talk to the people. Try to write some emails or connect with them LinkedIn, and then try to talk to them like where are you working, and try to get to know the people. I mean, that will really help you. Having all this network is really going to help you in the future when you go to the industry. And use your mentor to the fullest. I mean, don't be shy. Talk to him or her. Always, like, if you have a question, just shoot the question to them, and they are more than happy to help. Try to get the opportunity to the fullest. I mean, based on the mentor, you can get to meet them through the virtual channels, or you may get to meet them through chat or email. So, but don't discourage by the channel. I mean, if you get the video and through the voice calls or anything, that is better. You can like talk to him in person. I mean, talk to him and get the knowledge from him directly. If you have chat or email, then of course use those channels to the fullest. I mean, they are there to help you, so don't be shy. And most important thing is like, make sure once you complete the project, you align it to ship with the product, so that like it is shipped, and you can tell anyone, okay, that's my work. Yeah, if you see this is what I have built, And then that kind of like give you more confidence, as well as you can present it at anywhere, in an interview, or in a showcase, or anywhere. That'll live forever. So that's really good. And on the other hand, people sometimes get messed up with the communication. Now there are midterm and final evaluation. So what you have to do is always try to keep a track of your work. I would suggest like go and blog whatever you experience in Medium or Blogspot, I don't know, whatever media you prefer, put them in there. So that will help you. That will help you communicate. Say your mentor or your project that you have been doing this one, and these are the things these are the challenges you face. Even if you couldn't finish it on time, if you can provide all this document, they will still say, yeah, you did a good job. I think we understand why you cannot finish it by the time. Sometimes it happens. If now these projects are, they think these projects can be delivered within 12 weeks, but sometimes it is not the case. But if you can show whatever the work you have done, they will definitely pass you the program, and then afterwards you can complete it after the program if you're really interested in. So keep your work blogged, or put it into words and put it somewhere. That will help you a lot. So, and it will give you the exposure as well. Like, all this documentation will help you in writing your documentation on your final year project, and any other thing. Like in the industry, there are a couple of things: you code, you document, and then you code and you document. So that it is kind of like going iteratively. Going around as a cycle. So definitely it'll help you in the industry as well. So yeah, that is kind of the things I wanted to talk to you guys. Definitely now, I didn't want to like talk about the midterm or the final evaluation, because ultimately you will figure out like when you work with the mentor, you have that mojo, keep going, and you'll be improved by the time you write the midterm or the final evaluation. You should be able to get through it. Now, I would like to open any other questions. Then I'll probably, I'll finish the slides. I have a couple more slides, then I'll finish it.
Thank you, sir, for that very informative session. And I think we all got a clear idea of the Google Summer of Code and how it works. So now we are moving on to the Q&A session. If you have any questions to ask Mr. Sooriyabandara, you can raise them now. We would like it if you could unmute yourself and ask the questions. If not, you can send your queries through the chat.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. What are the trends that we have to refer in these days to apply to the Summer of Code? What are the trending projects that you can recommend to follow us?
So now, given the industry, where the industry heading, right? So I would say focus on cloud natives and data science and databases. So those are the things I think will evolve drastically within next few years. So if you can focus of them, then it'll give you like a big, it'll give you a lot of exposure in your industry and your career. Any other questions? Yeah, I was like that. I was too shy to ask questions by the time I was in the college or the university. So yeah, that's us.
So they had to ask questions if they want to do well in Google Summer of Code, right?
That's exactly the point. If you want now, one thing I really wanted to highlight is because now asking question is really important. Now think about something. Now I'm saying something. I'm explaining a project to you, and you get a kind of different idea about that, and totally different idea about what I'm doing or what my project is, and you don't ask a question. If you don't ask any question, I think you get everything right and you got everything wrong. So in that case, you are doomed when you write the project proposal. So it is really important for you to ask question to make sure like you get things right, and it'll get the impression when you ask the question, your mentor will think about, okay, these guys are so interested in this as well. So it'll show you interest as well. If you don't ask any question, they will think, okay, this guys might not interested too much on this project. So yeah, impression is again something you have to build up as well. So questions definitely build your impressions. On the questions, there is no, in this industry at least, like there is no good or bad questions. I think you guys hearing this from the industry a lot, but there is no good or bad in bad ones. If someone says like that's a foolish question, I think you may, that's a bad attitude person. So yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I have a question.
One thing. I know, like you guys are trying to call me sir. Don't call me sir. Just you can call me Eranda. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to ask is along at least averagely how long it will take to engage with this the summer of code with the academics. We should focus on the academics too. So can I know about how long the average time period of the engagement of this event and competition?
So that depends. So based on the complexity of the project, that means I said like there are medium and large projects. Based on that, you will take some time, but at least you have to spend at least, I may say, 20 hours a week, so at max. So it depends on you how you should break it. Now my recommendation is go with at least 4-hour chunks when you work on it. Otherwise what you'll ended up doing is like you will try to read it, and then by the time you allocated time ends, you will move on and you switch the context, and by the time you get back, you might forget things. So allocate some chunk of work within your within the academic, because most important thing is academic. I mean, that is really important, and you have to balance it. I'm saying like it is a little bit of challenge, but it is worth it. It definitely worth your time if you have. I mean, if you can allocate a good chunk of time, and you'll enjoy it as well. I mean, by the time you engage it and then keep doing it, you will definitely engage it. It's like writing software now. I'll talk a little bit of experience of mine now as a person who's coding. I sometimes what will happen is if I encounter a problem and if I wanted to solve it, I will like solve it across the hours. That means I don't have any time. It'll make me fun as well. Like it'll be fun to solve the problems. So you'll ended up working. I mean, if you are really passionate, it's not a big deal. You'll ended up spending a lot of time without really hurting your academic career.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So how did this experience help you to get a job in Meta?
Oh, that's a good question. So let me talk about my career a little bit, because I mean you guys are well aligned to follow. Go to the software career like me. So now, because I did Google Summer of Code, I kind of like I kind of got the flavor of like all these open source projects and try to contribute it and try to see what's internals, and it makes me wanted to work on some open source project. That's why definitely I choose WSO2. And WSO2 is, as an organization, they work on the exact model which is operated by the Apache Software Foundation. Like, I mean, that's how they work internally. They use the mailing threads in order to make communications, and so it'll help me adapt the culture of there, and then ultimately I moved to US and started working on that. Whatever the industrial experience within WSO2 helped me in Fidelity Investments, where I exceeded, and then I really want to change, and then I come to the Meta. Now, how you can, now think you will directly apply from your graduation to Meta. How this is going to help is now you are trying to understand a code which is written by these professionals or the experts, and you will get mentoring from them. So you know how things work, and you know the quality, how you maintain the quality of the software, as well as like what kind of a life cycle this software is going through. I mean, that will help you at least like a real industry experience when you talk to the interviewers. So that will help you. There is a design question. So whatever the project work, when you start designing in the Google Summer of Fraud, I mean, if it is a large project, I think the medium project might not have a lot of design in it. If you have a large project, definitely that designing will help you in the design questions, and then program and everything will help you in the interview process as well. As now that's the interview, but this, whatever the experience is, definitely, trust me, it is going to help you a lot, because you have kind of like now no company has when you join a company, they already have the code base, so you have to go and read it. This experience, how you tackle and how you read and how you ship and the life cycle, this will help you in there to exceed. Yeah, Meta is another software company. Don't think this as a this, I don't see any differentiation other than the complexity of the interview. So yeah, whatever the experience you're getting in the Google Summer of Code will end up like benefiting you, regardless of your work. Regardless of the name of the company.
Mr. Eranda, we have a question in the chat. I'll read it out for you.
Yeah.
Which programming language is mostly used in GSOC?
That's a tough question, given that I haven't do the Google Summer of Code last 11 years. So, I will say, can you give me a little bit of context around that question? Why you ask? What is the why you want to know the language which is mostly used in Google Summer of Code? Because now I wanted to know what is the context behind that question, so that I can answer it, give an answer. Fine. I think I probably understand why the question is like, probably you should start reading about that language. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, the world works the other way. Pick a project and then pick a project, pick an organization, pick a project, and then see what they're using and learn that language. Learning a language is now, I have been working for different companies. I mostly use Java for last 10 years, but within Meta, they're using PHP, or what they call, it's a modified language. So it doesn't matter. When you have experience in one language, you can always use that knowledge to understand a different language. It is really easy. Don't think the other way. Learning a language to do the Google Summer of Code, I don't think it's. I won't encourage it. Do the other way. Now, on the other hand, what kind of language are you guys learning these days? Just for my information. Yeah, if you really learn something, yeah, why don't you make it a practice and go apply for a project which you have been learning? So it'll be beneficial for you to learn that language and master it.
These days, Python is very popular in the university system, Randa.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I wanted to hear. I know it's. I mean, it. Yeah, Python is so popular, and so that's definitely something you should learn, because ultimately the data science side, they're drastically using it. So there are a couple of like I mean, now these companies who has been living for 10, 20 years, they have legacy, programming language, but ultimately, they will, yeah, pick the popular language these days, and it'll help you, really help you. And on the other hand, learning a language. What I said was, don't learn a language to select GSOC. Learn a language because you like it, and learn a language. Once you know a language details, you can read any other language. All right. Any other questions?
Mr. Eranda, what are the top multinational companies engaged with this project?
All the projects, even though they're open source projects, they kind of funded by at least, heavily employed by the different companies. Like, each of them, let's pick Apache Software Foundation project. I don't remember. So whatever the project, there will be definitely assigned a company. There can be a company who's like more funding it by putting the employees' effort there. So to answer your question, there are lots of big companies around that. So based on your project, you can find. What you can do is pick some names from the top contributors and try to see where they work. You will ended up know what is the backed, what is that specific project is backed by. So it can be Meta, it can be Google, it can be any other company. Even WSO2 put some project, if I'm not mistaken, some time back. I don't know still they're doing it or not, but they're doing it as well. So yeah, all these projects are backed by someone because they're the main users of it.
Thank you, Mr. Eranda.
Wait, I'll give a little bit of insight onto that. Don't pick a project because it's backed by a bigger company. So, don't do that. Pick whatever you think it is beneficial for you and your career. So don't pick a project just because it is. The project is backed by some big company. Go ahead with the other question.
Yes, Mr. Eranda, I have a question. Are we going to contribute as a team for the particular project or individual?
This is an individual project. Individual programming project which will be assigned. So you will be doing it as a individual. It's not a big project. It's a 12 weeks project worth of project work, which can be done by individual. So they scoped it like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, make sure you do it individually so that you get the full benefit out of it. I mean, there are benefit in working as a group for certain, but given the scope, I think you have to. My recommendation is go as a individual and perform. It'll really help you in your career.
Mr. Eranda, we have another question in the chat. I'll read it out for you.
Sure.
Should a participant be a university student when participating in GSOC? What if he or she is out of the university by that time?
So, only requirement is to be a party. I mean, be a university or any educational organization by the time you select. So that means I think May 4th. So I mean, afterwards it's okay. I mean.
So if you are a master student, can master students participate in that?
Yeah, anyone. I mean, master students, PhD students, anyone can participate.
Or the only requirement is to have a valid identity card, is it? A university identity card.
Okay. That's correct. You have to be affiliated with an educational organization.
I think that's all the questions we have today. Mr. Eranda, do you have anything more to add?
Yep. So I have put some links in here. I'll share it with Sean, and you guys can refer to this. And of course, I really want you guys to succeed on this one. I mean, good luck with the project proposal. Start now, and think it as a leap for you, like, I mean, leap for your future career. So, I mean, don't take it.
Yeah, we as an outsider who has not participated in this program, what I can say is everyone who did Google Summer of Code basically got a sudden leap, sudden leverage into in their career and confidence as well.
Exactly.
Confidence is going to be an thing. කොටිම සිංහලයේ කිව්වොත් මේ what ගමේ බයියානේ.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still again, the people who did Google Summer of Code are not those fancy guys. It's just normal people who came to the university and they wanted to do something different. That's why they did Google Summer of Code and became successful.
Oh, can I talk in single? Is there any?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
මම අනුරාධපුරේ කියන්නේ මට ගොඩක් ෆැසිලිටි තිබ්බේ නැහැ. ඒවා මොනවත් තිබ්බේ නැහැ. ඒ වුණාට දැන් ඒ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක through ගියාම මට ඒ කියන්නේ ලොකු confident එකක් එනවා මේ ඉස්සරහට. දැන් මම ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ වැඩ කරාම වෙන්නේ දැන් මට තේරෙනවා මට පුළුවන් කියලා. දැන් මම කම්ප්ලීට් කරා, මට පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේ ඒක අර confident එක විදිහට ඔයාට ලොකු confident එකක් හම්බ වෙනවා සහ reputation එක. දැන් ඔයා contribute කරාම මේ මොකක් කර project එකකට ඒ project එකේ ඔයා ලියපු feature එක හරි මොකක් හරි ඒ contribute කරපු කෑල්ල ඔයාට පේනවා නම් වෙන කවුරු හරි use කරනවා. අන්න ඒක ලොකු අර ඒක ගොඩක් I mean ඒකේ සතුට වෙනම සතුටක්. ඒකින්ද මේ කියන්නේ උනන්දුලා කරොත් ඔයගලන්ට බැරි කමක් නැහැ. මට ඒ කියන්නේ මම පටන් ගද්දි මට no idea මේ මොකද්ද මේවා උනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ කරන්න තියෙන්නේ කියලා මට no idea. presentation එකක් දෙකක්කට ගියා. ඊට පස්සේ idea එකක් ආවා. ඒ වුණාට මෙන්ට තමා මේ මට ගොඩක් හෙල්ප් කරේ අර ඒ කියන්නේ ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරගන්න මොනවද ඉම්ප්‍රූව් වෙන්න ඕනේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් ප්‍රොපෝසල් එක උනත් මෙන්ට ගොඩක් උදව් කරා. එහෙම තමයි මේ කියන්නේ කමියුනිකේෂන් උනත් ඉම්ප්‍රූව් වෙන එකකින්ද නැත්තම් අපි දැන් සාමාන්‍ය අපි කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ අපි වෙරි අපි ලැජ්ජයිනේ කාට හරි කතා කරන්න අපි උදව් ඉල්ලන්න ලැජ්ජයි. ඒ වුණාට දැන් මේකෙන් පස්සේ අර ඒවා ටික හැදෙනවා ටික ටික. ඒවා ටික හැදෙන එක ගොඩක් ලොකු උදව්වක් වෙනවා ඔයා ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එකට ගියාම මේ ඒකේ තියෙන ඒ බූස්ට් එක ඒක ගොඩක් ලොකු ලීප් එකක්. ඒ හින්දා මේ කරනවා නම් ගොඩක් හොඳයි. ඒකයි මේ සහ මේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට ෆයිනෑන්ෂියලි මේක බූස්ට් එකක් වෙනවා. මේ මට ඒ කියන්නේ මට නම් ලොකු බූස්ට් එකක් වුණා ඒ දවස්වල ෆයිනෑන්ෂියලි $5000ක් හම්බ වුණා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒකත් වෙනස් වෙනවානේ. එයින්ද මේ එෆර්ට් එක උපරිම දාන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ට කියන්නේ සක්සීඩ් වෙන්න පුළුවන් ලොකු chance එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා හරියට කමියුනිකේෂන් කරනවා නම් ඒ ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකත් එක්ක ඔයාගේ මෙන්ටර්ත් එක්ක ඕගනයිසේෂන් ඒ කියන්නේ හරියට කමියුනිකේට් කරනවා නම් සිලෙක්ට් වෙන්න තියෙන chance එක ගොඩක් වැඩි.
Thank you, Mr. Eranda. On behalf of all the members of the Department of Industrial Management, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude towards Mr. Eranda Sooriyabandara, who spared time from his busy schedule to grace this occasion and for all the valuable information he shared with us today. Also, a special thank you to Dr. Shan Jayasinghe. Sir, thank you for your unwavering guidance in organizing this session. So, before we wind up, remember that programming is the art of telling a computer what to do. But good programming is the art of telling a computer what to do in such a way that the computer can be convinced to do it correctly. Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Eranda.
Organize කරාට thank you Shan.
No problem. පොඩ්ඩක් වද දෙනවා ඉස්සරහට පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් ටිකක් එහෙම ගන්න.
නෑ yeah I mean ඕන එක්කෙනෙක්ට reach out කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ LinkedIn through. I mean I'm happy to help you guys.
Thanks so much.
Thank you Majan.
Okay, bye. Good night.
Okay, good morning.
Good.
Recording stopped.